Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishnan. Basically, today we are going to talk about the formula parts. Basically, that is basically 89th number part. In last part, basically we have discussed about the if condition. Basically, that was basically third number question. That basically was telling that there are. This is basically we are talking about the globally. Basically, globally means you can say, for example, in this world there are more than 1 lakh. Projects basically, global projects basically, you can say 1 lakh global project means you can say CRM is there. My CRM is there, then billing project is there, then billing and banking project are there, then ERP projects are there. Like this, basically, there are 1 lakh projects, and this 1 lakh projects has been already. This 1 lakh project basically, you can say each and every conditions basically of the 1 lakh project is already defined, right, by the experts basically. So basically there were few experts basically who basically designed this project, and they basically told that these are the maximum condition which will be going to come in this from this project basically. So according to that, the maximum conditions basically which has came, and according to that basically we have drawn the certain boundaries basically, you can say certain boundary means we have defined the conditions basically in certain cities basically. For example, they have created the people who created the if condition, while loops, if conditions, for loops basically. They told that we have created around 3,000 cities for each and every conditions basically. So whenever the like this basically the boundary has drawn of the if condition, while condition of the each and every projects basically, that is CRM, like this ERP. So whenever basically each and every projects is going to be created by the set of groups basically, then basically that each and every projects energies basically are going to connect to that areas basically, that are basically 3,000 cities. So like this, basically each and everything. So like this is about the if condition and else condition. Like this, basically we just need to take the sorry. We just need to do the coding basically of if condition, while loop basically for loop. But for that, basically lots of creation has happened. Basically, you can say it's basically connected with the software energy, software product, which basically the creation behind this. Without creation, also the things can be worked basically. For example, without 3,000 cities, also the programming is going to work. But the problem is the energy is basically whatever things you create that generates into energies, and for that only the Earth planet exists basically, you can say, because our planet is also generating lots of negatives and positive energies basically. So like this, basically there are 3,000 cities, and for 3,000 cities, basically lots of human needs are basically getting created. For example, there is one project, CRM project, and that CRM project can generate petrols, oils, vegetables, fruits, human needs, whatever human needs. Basically, cotton can generate, water can generate. So like this, just because nowadays what happens, the human needs basically are generating. Previously, basically the human needs were basically generating from the natural resource. So the natural resource is getting over basically. So due to natural resources getting over, so for that basically you have to find some alternative. So this was the alternative. So like this, basically this was about the if loop basically, if loop, I loop, and one example also I have given in the last video, that is basically 88th video. There basically lots of things are given. Basically. Now basically this is about the fourth question. That is basically says that how many human needs has been created from the software energy. Basically, you can say. So basically everybody knows that how many projects basically we have created, how many projects the software industry has created, more than 1 lakh projects. So this is basically the total projects basically. The overall project behind, for example, CRM project basically is created by many people, but CRM is a unique basically, and whatever CRM projects 100 people are going to create, that might be little bit difference might be there, but the major basically work is CRM. So like this, basically there are 1 lakh projects like CRM, ERP, billing, banking product, like this retail industry product, like this. There are total it is around 1 lakh projects. So from 1 lakh main projects basically, and mostly basically there are overall basically there are around 1 crore projects in this world, which is ongoing, and from 1 crore basically each and every basically projects can't be converted to software energy basically, right? This is like basically in one school basically only 1 or 2% can become first rank holder basically. So everybody can't become a first rank holder, right? So like this basically few people comes second rank, few people comes third rank, few people comes fifth rank. Like this basically few people fails also, few people pass in boundary basically. uh, that is called in Hindi that is called kinare pe pass hua. Like this basically there are many things basically, like this was basically just taken as an example. So each and every software basically can't each and every product basically can't be converted to the software energy. Basically reasons are there basically, because every product basically can't be converted to this is like that example, first rank holder, second rank holder, fail, pass, few people do passing in boundary. Like this basically the things are there. So assume that there are around 3 lakh human needs basically, like water, vegetables, fruits, oils, petrol, sand, then steel, iron. Like this, basically, there are more than 3 lakh human needs, basically, objects, basically. That basically needs to convert to, that basically have to be converted. Because that, this all are basically, previously, basically, we were converting, we were creating from the natural items, basically. So from nature, basically, we are going to create. We are basically creating, but the nature items are getting over. The natural items are getting over. So due to that, basically, items are getting over. So basically, we have to find the alternative. So the alternative was the software industry. So from software product, basically, lots of people try to find out the human needs basically, and lots of basically people says that we have almost completed lots of things basically, like water are there. Water basically has lots of waters are in the bottles basically, which gets in the markets basically, that are basically created from the software energy basically. Lots of software companies has created that water. Like vegetables are there, lots of companies has created vegetables, lots of companies has created apple, lots of companies has created grapes, lots of companies has created oil, lots of software companies has created petrols also. There are lots of petrols also basically which software companies has created. So that's basically connected with the energy level basically, and it's basically more than 2 to 3,000 process are there. Then only basically this human needs creates, because to create one oil basically, the land basically has created land basically has done how many years of process basically. So after that only the oil gets converted to human needs basically. That basically oil like items basically gets converted to oil basically, then basically human to use the human medical, so that the human can use that oil. For that basically lots of things are getting processed, then only basically human can able to have that oil basically. So like this same way basically software and software industry also are doing the lots of process, and then it's basically not a few days process, it takes lots of time. So create software also it takes lots of time, then to convert the software into energies also takes lots of time, and then the energy converted into energy process level that also takes time. Then basically after that basically human needs creation happens from the software energy, that takes time. Then basically the process inside the body takes time. Basically when you have that human needs basically inside your body basically, that get processed. Then each and everything basically has some process. After that only the things gets clear basically. There are lots of things process basically that happens very fast. Very fast means very fast. That basically are special software basically you can say. Within one day basically you can create the oil. Within one day you can create the petrols. But that's basically on the emergency basis you can say. But that basically has lots of heavy level process that basically might be connected to the satellites also. From the satellites help also basically you can you might be creating the human needs basically. If you are taking satellites help basically, then basically you can understand the level of the human needs basically, what which type of human needs might be that. So like this, basically the software energy company and the software companies basically they tells that this is basically just a rough number, but in real number this might be the real number it might be different. The more than basically each and every most of human needs basically which natural resource are getting created, that basically most of things are converted to human needs, and lots of human basically has started getting used also, because wherever the software industry comes like USA, Europe, Italy, then UAE, basically these all are the software IT hubs basically. So IT hubs basically means you can understand basically wherever IT hubs is there. So basically, if IT people are not using that human needs, then basically who will use? So that's why basically the IT city basically uses the human needs. Then basically mm, after that only the basically you can say the rest of people are going to use, because it's a by default basically. If you are creating the software and if you are not using that software yourself only, then basically who will use that software? It's same way basically. The human needs which you are creating, which software industries are creating, first you have to use. Then only basically the other people can able to use. And mostly like this only the things happens. And that's why basically like USA, UK, mostly these countries basically uses the software energies created human needs basically. It's basically by default basically, by nature basically you can say. Whatever things you are creating, that basically you have to use, then only basically you can give this to another basically. So mm, it's like that, and basically this was the question of fourth number basically. That is basically how many human needs has been converted to human. Sorry, how many software energies of how many softwares basically has been converted to human needs. So basically, next part basically that is 90 number part. We are going to see a little bit more about the question and answers.